Isaac Whitman, draped in the aura of immense success and quiet disquiet, commanded an empire of innovative ventures. Despite helming a vast network of cutting-edge enterprises, a persistent question gnawed at him. In a world increasingly self-centered, did true kindness still exist? Rather than query polite experts or pore over cold statistics, he resolved to plunge directly into life's harsher margins, risking comfort for the sake of truth. One cool, unassuming dawn in the heart of downtown Atlanta, Isaac exchanged boardrooms for the gritty pavement. He transformed himself, a man once polished now donned in a battered shirt that hung loosely, jeans frayed by time, and shoes that had weathered countless miles. A smear of dirt on his face and a handcrafted cardboard sign bearing the simple plea "hungry, anything helps" completed his disguise. Amid the rhythmic clamor of city life, businessmen with eyes buried in screens, hurried footsteps echoing off concrete, he became an anonymous observer, waiting for a sign that his daring experiment might bear fruit. For hours, Isaac lingered at the curb, absorbing the silent stories of passers-by. Some ignored his presence altogether, others offered fleeting, pitying glances before disappearing into their own busy worlds. Doubt began to creep in. Had his plan already faltered? Then, across a busy street, his gaze locked onto a solitary figure, a woman seated at the edge of despair yet exuding an unexpected strength. Her sparse belongings lay in a worn bag at her side, and though sorrow painted her features, her posture was proud, chin lifted in quiet resolve. This was Rose, a name fate had etched in the margins of his experiment. Rose's life had taken a cruel turn over the past 3 years. After losing her steady job, a cascade of misfortunes had hurled her into a relentless struggle on the streets. Yet, rather than wallow in despair, she clung to hope like a fragile flame. Cradling a cheap styrofoam cup of coffee, purchased with every spare coin, she sat quietly, her eyes reflecting the myriad battles fought and small victories earned in an unforgiving urban winter. What twist of destiny could bind her path to his quest for lost compassion? With a hesitant heart, Isaac approached her, voice soft and tentative as if afraid to shatter the fragile calm. "Excuse me, ma'am," he murmured, "I'm truly starving, might you spare something?" For an instant, her dark eyes studied his face, peeling back layers of his disguise. Silence reigned before a gentle smile emerged, and in a voice touched with weary warmth, she replied, "I have little, but I can share what I've got." Reaching into her modest bag, Rose withdrew a simple peanut butter sandwich wrapped in wax paper. "Here," she said quietly, "it isn't grand, but it should quiet your hunger." In that small, unpretentious offering, a spark of genuine empathy ignited between them. Taken aback by the raw sincerity of her gesture, Isaac accepted the humble meal with trembling gratitude. "Thank you," he whispered, his voice thick with emotion. Yet Rose's kindness flowed further. A cool bottle of water emerged from her bag, accompanied by soft advice: "If you're seeking shelter, there's one just 2 blocks away. They'll welcome you if you get there before nightfall." Such unselfish care stirred something deep within him, a revelation that even those with scant resources could possess hearts overflowing with generosity. As they settled together on the rough pavement, the urban symphony of distant honks and murmured conversations became the backdrop for Rose's story. In measured tones, she recounted the collapse of her former life, the sudden loss of her job, the slow, painful descent into homelessness, and her relentless struggle to nurture hope amidst adversity. Under a twilight canopy, as city lights began to shimmer like scattered stars, Isaac departed with a silent promise to return. Her courage had affirmed his suspicions, but he sensed that the true journey was only just beginning. The following day, Isaac reappeared in the guise of a downtrodden wanderer, his disguise as convincing as before. This time, however, he carried a small backpack secretly laden with cash, tucked beneath a ragged blanket. His mind buzzed with curiosity. Just how far could Rose's kindness stretch when met with unexpected generosity? As he drew near, she greeted him with the warm familiarity of a kindred soul. "You're back," she observed softly, and he replied with quiet earnestness, "I came to thank you for yesterday." The simple sandwich meant more than words can capture. With a gentle chuckle, she confided, "Sometimes, all we need is a little care. I know too well what it's like to be in want." Her words resonated like a soft refrain against the hum of the city, each syllable weaving a tapestry of shared hardship and hope. Midway through their conversation, as the chill of early afternoon deepened, Isaac reached into his hidden pack and produced a crisp $100 bill. With a conspiratorial smile, he offered it to her, saying, "I found this, and though I'm pretending to be like you, I believe you deserve it more than I." Her eyes widened in disbelief as she murmured, "Are you certain?" "Absolutely," he insisted, his tone firm despite the pretense. After a moment's hesitation, her fingers, trembling with a mix of wonder and gratitude, accepted the unexpected gift. "Thank you," she said softly, though it was clear that this act was merely a prelude to something far greater. What followed left Isaac utterly awestruck. Rather than clinging to the newfound money for herself, Rose rose with deliberate calm and crossed a few steps to an elderly man seated nearby, his frame frail and his eyes resigned. Gently, she pressed half of the bill into his hand, whispering, "This is for you too." Isaac watched, his heart pounding, as the quiet act of shared generosity shattered his assumptions. Here was a lesson: kindness is not measured by what one holds, but by what one is willing to give away freely. On the third day, Isaac re-entered the scene, not as a forgotten phantom of hardship, but in his full, unmasked self. Dressed in a pristine tailored suit and emerging from a sleek black car parked near Rose's familiar corner, he presented a startling contrast to his previous guise. At first, Rose's eyes skimmed over him in mild confusion until he knelt beside her and extended a sealed envelope. "It's me, the man you once shared your sandwich with," he said softly. Slowly, realization lit her features, and in that suspended moment, the entire journey crystallized into an overwhelming truth. Inside the envelope lay not only a heartfelt note but also a check for $50,000. The letter read, "For your kindness, for your heart, and for your hope, may this help you find the fresh start you so richly deserve." Overcome by emotion, Rose's tears glistened in the fading light as she stammered, I don't know what to say." With quiet insistence, Isaac added, "Just promise me one thing, pay it forward in any way you can." Imagine a world transformed by such compassion. Clutching the envelope as if it were the most precious relic, Rose felt a tremor of possibility. Her life, it seemed, might finally be poised for change. Retracing his steps toward the waiting car, Isaac glanced over his shoulder one final time. There, bathed in the gentle glow of renewed hope, Rose raised her hand in a radiant farewell. Their eyes met, a silent exchange laden with understanding and promise. In that fleeting look, Isaac realized that his journey had uncovered more than the secret of human kindness. It had sparked a quiet revolution of empathy in a world too long shrouded in indifference. And so, amid the shifting shadows and flickering city lights, their encounter became a living testament to the transformative power of generosity, a beacon that whispered of brighter beginnings and the unyielding strength of the human heart.